All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise and glory is unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the elect, those men and women that are changing their lives and their families' lives, that they may obtain salvation, and they're turning their ways to righteousness, that they may earn their salvation from Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. In these last days, these wicked days amongst the wicked generation, okay? Shalom unto you. All right, I'm Brother Shaquat from the Las Vegas camp, and I just want to go over the new covenant and the blessings of the new covenant. Now, I won't be able to encompass everything, which, you know, we know in part, we prophesy in part. We don't know all the details, but some of the things I'll mention, some I'll grab precepts. But first off, I want to start here with the second covenant in itself. Jeremiah 31:31, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt the first time, which my covenant they break, which we did break that covenant, and that's why we're under these curses, okay? Because we couldn't keep it perfectly. It says, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord Yahweh. I will put my laws in their inward parts. Okay, meaning he's going to write them within us. He's going to program us, if you will, to not go off, to keep them perfectly. And we'll have the new bodies that will be able to for us to be able to keep them perfectly. Okay, I'll get to that. Matter of fact, I'll hold that and I'll just go get it now. Bear with me a second. 1 Corinthians 15, around 40. Let's see. Yep. Let me get to the point. Let me see. All right. Let me see if I can find the word. Yeah, that'll work right there. Verse let me see, 42. 1 Corinthians 15:42. So also is the resurrection of the dead. Because of the law and us not being able to keep it perfectly, we died. Okay? Then we begin to perpetuate and abuse, you know, the mercy of the Lord, you know, particularly with the sacrificial laws, premeditating it and so on and so forth. When you go back to Isaiah the first chapter, it says, it is sown in corruption, right? And right now we're in corruption. It is raised in incorruption and will be raised up incorrupt. Okay? It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural and there is a spiritual body. Okay? So when we get our spiritual bodies, which will be extraterrestrial, okay, a mix of the celestial and the terrestrial, okay, then we'll be able to keep it perfectly. That's why I read the corrupt, sown in corruption, raised in incorruption. Okay, and the dead in Yahweh shall rise first. Okay, first fruits. I mean, it goes into all of that. All right, let me go back. So we'll have new bodies to be able to know judgment and righteousness, and we'll keep it perfectly. And because we were able to keep it perfectly, I'll get to that. It says, I'm gonna go back to verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts, and with those new bodies comes it written in our inward parts. We're practicing it now in the corrupt bodies. We're fighting the spirit of we're fighting the flesh with the spirit, that we may be righteous. Okay, because the flesh and the spirit a war one against the other. All right. It says, I will put my laws in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, in our minds, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And he's going to come back from turning his back on us. He's going to return to interacting with us. Okay? Via Yahweh Shai will be there as well. All right? It says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor one another, and every man his brother, other Israelites, right? Saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me. We won't have to go out and prophesy unto you Jakes out there, you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans anymore. All right? We'll be able to, you'll already know the Lord, and then we'll have the job of a king and a priest over the nations. Okay? All right? It says, and write it in their, verse 34. It says, and every man his brother saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Okay? And that's the beautiful thing about it. I'm going to follow up with the one in Hebrews, the 8th chapter. All right? Because it's beautifully how it's written in there. Start up a little bit. Yeah. Let me see where I want to start. See, priest of law. No, this is beautiful. But I won't read that. I'll read that another time. Verse 6, but now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator, talking about Yahweh Shai, of a better covenant. How is it better? Because Yahweh Shai had it written in him, and he had the extraterrestrial body. We're gonna get those things. We're gonna get be joint heirs of the glory and the power. Okay, with Yahweh Shai. Okay. It says he's a mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. Okay, the promise that we ain't got to work on being righteous. It's just gonna be put in our spirit to be righteous. Okay, but we will understand wickedness going through this life, okay, and all these past generations that we've been back, all right? For if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. And the fault in the first covenant was within us. So he's going to change us. That's why I read that in 1 Corinthians, into being a righteous people that will naturally, be righteous. And we'll have the bodies to be an exhibit that righteousness. Okay, the will of the Heavenly Father. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Yeah, and when I read it the first time, and I'll say it when I read it this next time. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord Yahweh. I will put my laws in their mind. And that was the thing. We didn't have it written in us. We couldn't keep the laws. Which law? The laws of the old covenant, the first covenant. Okay? We have to keep the laws of the first covenant. It's just wisdom passed by the Heavenly Father, and it comes at a penalty, which I will get. Bear with me, okay? Okay? It says, and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they will be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and iniquities will I remember no more. In this he saith, a new covenant he hath made, the first old. And the old one isn't done away with. It's simply enacting those with the blessings and everything that comes with that, while also getting that written within us that we will keep them perfectly. Okay, now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to be vanished away. Okay, because it was a thing according to the flesh, the way we kept the law. Okay, you can go into I think Romans and read into that, but I don't want to go too deep into that. I just want to establish what's going on with the new covenant. Okay, so let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Now I'm gonna start at the 15th verse, and I'm gonna just hit this, which says Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, which we didn't. That's why I said it in both chapters, Jeremiah the 31st chapter and Hebrews the 8th chapter. We didn't keep this agreement, this commandment, this covenant, okay? To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And from this point to the end of the chapter is curses. But the beautiful part was, he said, we shall know. We won't say know the Lord, because it will be written in us, right? So go to the top of the chapter, and it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord power Yahweh will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Okay? And this lines right up with what Yahweh Shai is going to do when he returns to initiate this covenant with us. Okay? By taking the nations captive, okay, and bringing the remnant, the elect of the children of Israel out of this condition, out of this captivity. Okay? And let them be the progenitors of the righteous children of Israel in the kingdom of heaven. All right? When we come out them chariots with the new bodies. All right? It says, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power. Blessed be thou in the city, and blessed be thou in the field, no matter where we at. Blessed is he, blessed shall be the fruit of the body, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of the cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. So anything that we grow, from our children to fruit, literal food and food off the land, to our animals procreating, so to speak, bringing back more animals. All those things are we going to have blessings with. Abundance upon abundance. It's like having, right now, we're like an old dog that had puppies and only had one or two out the litter. Versus in the kingdom of heaven, we'll have litters that'll be, 10, 11, 12 deep at a time, according to puppy litters, okay? I'm just using an analogy. All right, but we will have multiple wives to put out that many children. All right, we got to repopulate the 2/3 on the earth. It says, blessed shall be thy basket and thy store, the things that you need and that you need to carry, and then the things also that you store up. Okay, it says, blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out. When you come into the world and when you go out of the world. No matter what situation, we're not going out in a painful death, in an end of life, an old, decrepit age like that. We're going to have fresh bodies that just continually to get renewed every age. Okay? Every ion, if you will. Okay? It says, the Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come up against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Okay? When we came, we were going into the land of Canaan to take it for ourselves as the land of Israel. This is how our wars went. Our enemies were driven before us. Okay? It says, the Lord Yahweh shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses and in all that thou settest thy hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee. In whatever lands he gives us, we're not only going to get them our tribal lands in the land of Israel on earth, we're going to have many mansions. Okay, which that means that goes into to other planets. Okay, we're going to go out into the galaxy and be out there. All right, and when we're out there, we're going to dwell on these certain planets and populate these planets as well. Okay. It says, verse 9, the Lord Yahweh shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy power, thy power, thy God, right, the Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. Okay, he will establish us an holy people, a separate people unto himself. And we won't see the curses or the punishments anymore. We'll simply see the blessings. Because we'll deserve them, we'll be righteous. All right, it says, and all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord Yahweh, Yasharallah, and they shall be afraid of thee. They used to say, I think it was in Joshua or Judges, that the heathen used to say, truly the God of heaven and earth is with them. You're right, before we went in to take down certain nations, certain enemies. Okay, and all the people of the earth shall see that. I was at that verse 11, and the Lord Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods and in the fruit of the body, in goods and in the fruit of the body. Where am I? 11. Yep. And in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of the ground, and in the land which the Lord Yahweh sware unto thy fathers to give thee. Okay, the Lord Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. In the curses we will have to borrow and not be able to lend. They shall borrow unto thee and not lend to thee, and you shall not lend unto them. Okay, and the Lord Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and that's where we're at now. We're the bottom. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Okay, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord power Yahweh, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. Thou shalt not go aside from any of the words that which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, or to go after other gods to serve them. And we absolutely did that through these other generations leading up to the time of now. And at the end of this time, we're gonna Lord willing, I'm of the elect, of course, but we're gonna get beamed up, bodies changed, and then we're gonna be righteous, man. Okay, and we're gonna be righteous. All right. What was I just thinking? Let me go to Isaiah. Good place to go. Isaiah chapter 2. Start at the top. I'll start at verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house, Israel, shall be established on the tops of the mountains. Yep. And shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. All right.